Hey, runners, and Merry Christmas Eve to everyone. We are just one day away from the big day, so if you're celebrating Christmas and you need to get gifts, uh, better hustle. The clock is definitely ticking. I am definitely all done with gifts and just actually finished wrapping a few of them and put them under the tree. So that's about usually par for the course. I'm usually done a little bit before Christmas Eve, but sometimes take it up to the final day. So hopefully you're with family and friends, and hopefully your weather is much brighter than here in Phoenix. It is pretty dreary to say the least. If you looked outside my window, you would think that we were in Portland, Seattle, somewhere in the Northwest. In fact, it's supposed to rain pretty much most of the week, which is a bummer for a lot of folks because, people are visiting and it's the holiday season. For the little kiddies that may be getting gifts to play with outdoors. Tomorrow may be a little gloomy, but we'll see. So today I'm going to just recap my speed workout I did this morning on the treadmill at the gym since it was pouring, and I'm also going to just do kind of a little recap of this year's races, kind of a year end, if you will. I'm going to take you through kind of like the number of races I did this year, which you will find out soon was a record for me, I believe. So let's kick it off. This morning, as mentioned, went to the gym to do my speed workout and did 3x1Ks. The gym didn't open till 8 o'clock this morning, kind of odd hours. I know it's Christmas Eve and all, but it was 8 a.m. to noon, which is kind of weird, I think, for a gym. I get it closing early, but this gym usually opens up at 4 o'clock in the morning down the street from us, which I love. It's an LA Fitness. Most of them usually open up about 6 o'clock, sometimes 7 o'clock during the weekday, but ours opens at 4. I wasn't expecting them to open up at 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve, but maybe open up at 6 and then close at noon. But I've got the day off, so it didn't matter, but still. And before I went to the gym, I had to go to the DMV, which I don't know who looks forward to that. But we have to get those new ID cards or passports in order to travel. So I decided to gather all my documents and get there since the gym wasn't open yet. Anyways, took care of all that monkey business and got it done actually in 10 minutes, which is great. I don't like going to the DMV if I don't have to, and going into the bank. So those are probably two areas I'd rather have a drive-through of sorts to go through and get out. But yeah, took care of that. Then the gym opened up at 8 o'clock, zipped on over there, hopped on the treadmill, and my workout was a 3x1K with 400-meter recovery. The recovery was a walk, easy run. So my pace that I was trying to establish was a 5K, which I just came off of. I did a 5K last Saturday, had a great race. My pace was about a 7:45, 7:46. So I was holding to that on the treadmill, which to me is a little easier. So I put it at, I think it was 7.8 miles per hour, which came out to 7:41, which feels a little easier than that pace. It usually feels about 10-15 seconds easier to me. But I kept it there. Did a K, so 0.62 on the treadmill after my warm-up, and then just knocked it down, did a little walk, and then I jogged it out until my next K. So I did 3 of those, did the recovery, did a cool down. I hit all my times. It's easy to do on the treadmill. It's going at the pace that you need to run. And afterwards, I did some strength training, and yeah, that was it. It's definitely gloomy outside, so today was not the day for me to go out, although my wife got up early before she went to work and put in, I think it was 10 miles. Little drizzle, she said. It wasn't as bad as it got when I left the house. Um, so, yeah, a good run today. I am in my third week, I believe. I will pull it up here. I'm staring at my training program, so excuse me. Yeah, I'm in my third week of training for the Atlanta Half Marathon that we will be racing in here at the end of February, first part of March. It is part of our trip to watch the Olympic Trials Marathon the day before. It's really a fun. I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to go to any of the trials. If you have, then you can share in our excitement, of course. But if you haven't, I would strongly suggest that you do. If you're a runner and you just love to be motivated by these world-class athletes, folks who are basically they've qualified to get to the Olympic Trials Marathon, which is in Atlanta in 2020. And the top three will represent the United States in the Summer Olympics in Tokyo in August. So, yeah, very exciting stuff. We went to Houston in 2012, and we actually knew a few people, some friends, and some people that my wife followed. Just a fun, exciting time to watch all these people who worked so hard to qualify at other marathons leading up to it. And of course, the vast majority aren't going to be quick enough to make it to the Olympics, but doesn't matter. They've put in the work, they've qualified, and this is basically their Olympics. So it's really fun to watch. So I am in my third week of training for the half marathon come actually the 1st of March, while the elites do the trials on the 29th, being that it's a leap year. So, yeah, that's that. Excited for it. I got a couple shoes that I ordered. The Kinvara 10s. They actually have them on kind of like a clearance deal right now, and we got 30% off. I think it was $79.95, and then Saucony's website had an additional 30%. So we took advantage of that and got a couple of pairs. I think that dropped it down to 55, and of course there's free shipping always on their website. And then I picked up another pair of Saucony Rides, so I've got enough shoes for myself. My wife is also stocked up on shoes. So now I can go through and rotate the shoes, which if you're a runner, you know how having good pairs of shoes and those new pairs of shoes feel on your feet. So anyways, check out the website for Saucony. They've got some really good deals going on now. The other thing I want to talk about was what I did this year for 2019 when it comes to races. My last race for this year was last Saturday. It was a 5K, and I believe, going on record, this was the most races that I've ever done in a year. I know for others, they do a lot of other races. I've got a friend who pretty much races every weekend, but to me, that's not so important. I don't have a number that I'm looking for. I do like to race, but usually it's maybe once a month or every other month. But this year was a little different. So I've got my little cheat sheet here of all the races I did, and I'll break it down. It was, I believe, 18 races. So it was 11 5Ks. Yeah, that's a lot for me. Typically, 5K races in a year, I'll probably do like 6. So that was a lot. some really good races, some new races that I did, particularly in the East Valley. So here in Phoenix, we have what we call the East Valley: Gilbert, Mesa, um, Chandler, and we live in Ahwatukee, kind of like Southeast Valley, but still the East Valley. A lot of the races that I did gravitated towards Gilbert and Chandler, just because it's a little bit closer to our neighborhood, and we like the area too. But they did. I believe I did Phoenix, did Peoria. Not much in the West Valley, like Glendale, Buckeye, and places like that. So I did 11 5Ks, one 10K, which is interesting because I'm going to be doing another 10K coming up at the beginning of February. And I used to really hate is a strong word, so dislike 10Ks. I ran more in the 90s when 10Ks were really a thing. 5Ks, not so much. And now 5Ks are all over the place, and 10Ks are still there. They're popping up for sure. So I did one, I believe. I did a 1 4-miler. That was a 4th of July race. They always do a 4-miler for the 4th, and then they have a little barbecue afterwards, hamburger, hot dogs to celebrate the 4th of July. I did one 10-miler, and that was in Minneapolis. It was my birthday. It was just about a week or so, a couple days, I should say, before my birthday, and I wanted to go to Minneapolis. Never been there before, and I heard about this race, and I've never done a 10-miler. So guess what that means? It's a PR, which I actually did run a good race, and I suggest doing the Medtronic, which ironically, if you can see, it's the Medtronic 10-mile race out in Minneapolis. Fantastic race, great support. We lucked out because the day before it was raining heavily, and they had canceled the 10K and 5K. Fortunately, we got in the 10-miler, which is only allowed on a lottery basis. So I believe I think it's June that they have open registration for the lottery, and then a few weeks later, you find out if you made it in. So fortunately, we did, because if we didn't get in the 10-miler, we were planning on racing in the 10K or 5K, and we would have been SOL. You know what that means. So moving on, I did one 3K or a 1.8-mile race. That was, I believe, in over the summer. One of our friends, and he's a coach named Flash, puts on a fantastic kind of summer series a few miles down the street from us at a park, and it's a cross-country course because he loves cross-country. Talented masters steeplechase runner, and just an all-around good guy, really good coach, and we love to support him when we can. So I did a 3K, and that was a tough race. 1.8 miles is not that far, but it's on grass, sidewalk, dirt, come a little sand, and then you go up a hill, and then you come down. It's challenging, but definitely very fun. So looking forward to doing another one this summer. And sticking with the shorter races, I also did a 1-mile race, one of those. That was not long ago, a couple weeks ago. Not my best race. I was shooting for a sub 7. I went out way too fast. I went out at, I think it was a 1:30 pace for the first 400, which would have put me at like six minutes. I knew that was too quick. I was trying to go at 1:48, but I just took off, and I just never slowed up until, of course, the second, third, and Fourth lap, I tried to get it back, but I think I did a 7:10 is what they had me down. But very fun race. There's another one coming up that I won't be doing, but my wife will be doing. It definitely is challenging. And then, over the summer, we did a pentathlon, and that is basically 5 different distance races put on also by Flash. Not in this order, but it was 100, 200, 400, 800, and 1500 meter race. There's different heats that you're in based on kind of what you estimate your time to be, so that you're kind of in the group that similar speed. And that was very scary because I've never done anything like that, never participated in track before. And that was a couple hours of racing with about 20 to 30-minute rest. But boy, it was a grind. It was tough, but extremely fun. And then I did 1 half marathon. Usually I do about 1 to 2 a year. And that one was in Eugene, Oregon. We've been to Eugene 3 times and love it. I think we first went there in 2010, 2011, and then 11, 15, and 2019. Seems like every 4 years. That one I had a pretty good race. That was just pretty much ideal conditions. Maybe just under 40 degrees, but it wasn't windy or anything like that. And it was really a lot of fun. So that was it. 18 races is what I counted. A very exciting year. I'm looking forward to 2020. I've got a few races lined up, and of course the big one right now, at least, is the Atlanta Half Marathon, coming here in about 9 weeks or so. So that's about it. A long one today. I want to wish everybody happy holidays and definitely a prosperous new year. I might have another YouTube video coming out either right before New Year's or New Year's Day or that weekend. We'll kind of see what's going on. But anyways, stay warm, have fun. I hope you have some great goals for 2020, and I'd certainly love to hear about it. So please be sure to, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel down below and give me a thumbs up if you like this content. And I look forward to new content in 2020. Happy holidays all. Take care.